Green. Back of the inside runner. Fielder six to run, approaching with a dispatch point in the home straight down to the judge and 2 laps of the track. They're set to go. Ready, green light comes up, off and racing. Let's look for the favourite, Carnes Tiger. Began okay in the centre. General Joe hunting up in the early stages and settling down past the judge with 2 to go. General Joe leads. Lady Emperor, the leader's back second. Now galloping out wide, Carnes Tiger. The favourite is in a gallop, still hasn't settled down. So as they head into the back on the first occasion, General Joe, the leader, 6 metres in front. Lady Emperor is second. Third in the Peg's line is Texas Rainbow. Then came over on the inside was Mr. Moon. Second last Gambling Greek, and after a early mistake, Carnes Tiger is tailed off last of all. Along the back of the track they go. General Joe the leader. Second placing held by Lady Emperor. Then came in third placing was Texas Rainbow. They're all on the pegs. In behind them Mr. Moon, Gambling Greek, and still 25 to 30 metres away last of all was Carnes Tiger is down and pacing. They swing into the straight. They'll face the bell this time. Little over 1,000 to go. General Joe the clear leader. Lady Emperor second, followed by Texas Rainbow. In behind them then came Mr. Moon, about to hook out, and last of all is, or second last Gambling Greek, tailed off last of all is Carnes Tiger. Down past the judge, the bell sounding. General Joe 2 metres in front, moving up the outside. Mr. Moon to the leader's wheel second. Third behind the leader came Lady Emperor. 1 out and 1 back now Texas Rainbow from Gambling Greek. Still 30 metres away last of all was Carnes Tiger. They head into the back on the last occasion. 650 metres to go. General Joe a metre in front. Of over on the outside, getting a little closer now, Mr. Moon. In behind them, looking for the way clear, Lady Emperor. On the outside, Texas Rainbow. Then came Gambling Greek and tailed off last of all Carnes Tiger. They swing to the top turn, and General Joe still a metre or so in front of Mr. Moon on the outside. Third occupied by Lady Emperor, followed by Texas Rainbow and Gambling Greek. They're about to swing into the home straight in the first here at Fairfield. General Joe still a metre or so in front. Mr. Moon trying hard the outside. Then Lady Emperor behind the leader, and wider out came Texas Rainbow. In the straight, General Joe draws 3 metres in front. Trying hard down the outside is Texas Rainbow. General Joe hanging on from Texas Rainbow near the line. General Joe gets home a metre. Texas Rainbow second. Third might have gone to Lady Emperor on the inside. Between runners, Mr. Moon, then Gambling Greek, and after an early mistake, Carnes Tiger was last of all. It was 50, 17, 13 the journey. Dispatch point in the home straight, down to the judge and 2 laps at the track. Juno the inside runner, Overnight Joe next to it. Wizard's Magic, Sir Rocky Knight, Carnes Presence, and Can Only Be One. That's the field for the second, moving up behind the mobile. Swinging into the straight, the mobile start. Favourite $1.80 now, Juno, as they're about to go. All pacing cleanly. They're set. Green light up, off and racing. Juno began okay on the inside. Overnight Joe showing some pace with Wizard's Magic in the early stages. So Rocky Knight's gone for a gallop back at the rear. Past the judge with less than 2 laps to go now. And Juno leads out of the straight. Overnight Joe goes up to second. Wizard's Magic takes the sit behind the leader third. Can Only Be One over on the outside of Carnes Presence. And after an early mistake, Sir Rocky Knight is back to the rear some 20 metres off the main bunch. Along the back they go. Juno the leader by 3 metres in front. Overnight Joe is second the outside. Wizard's Magic back on the pegs. In behind them then came the next pair, Can Only Be One, the outside of Carnes Presence, and about to tack on at the rear was Sir Rocky Knight. They swing off the back with 1.5 laps to go, and Juno the leader 3 metres clear. In second placing, Overnight Joe has cut the breeze throughout. Wizard's Magic third behind the leader. 1 out and 1 back was Can Only Be One. The next one over on the outside was Carnes Presence, and last of all Sir Rocky Knight. Into the straight they face the bell this time at the 900 metre mark. Juno a metre or so in front. Overnight Joe is second. Wizard's Magic third. 1 out and 1 back Can Only Be One. In the running line Carnes Presence, and back at the rear on the inside now is Sir Rocky Knight. They swing out of the straight with short of a lap to go. At the 700 metre mark, Juno leads them to the back. Metre in front, Overnight Joe in second placing. Wizard's Magic third behind the leader. One out and one back still can only be one. Then the next one is Khan's Presence, and again going for a gallop back at the rear is Sir Rocky Knight. Along the back, midway between the far turns in the last circuit, Juno still a metre in front. The one to run down, Overnight Joe second. Wizard's Magic third. Now can only be one, hooking out three wide. This shoves out four wide Khan's Presence, and forget about Sir Rocky Knight. They're about to swing into the home straight. Juno skips 3 metres in front. Can only be one right around the outside into second placing. Between runners Overnight Joe and Wizard's Magic back along the inside. Juno the one in front, trying hard now. Can only be one. And here's one right down the outside. Khan's Presence with a strong run. Can only be one's gone to the lead. Trying hard. Khan's Presence. Can only be one. Pulls out plenty. Can only be one. Gets home narrowly. Khan's Presence second. Wizard's Magic might have got third between runners from Juno up along the inside. In behind them then came Overnight Joe, and just clocking in now Sir Rocky Knight. Not much between the top three. 17-13 the metres the journey here. The third at Fairfield. Pacing up behind the machine. Race 3, just about set, ready to go, all pacing cleanly. Green light comes up, they're off and racing. Good pace shown by, over near the inside there was Australia, but heading it off out wide in the early stages, Leonard George. Between runners Ben Noah. Then Australia, and hunting up right along the inside, Ollie's Beach Towel. So a great battle up front as they head out of the straight on the first occasion. Ollie's Beach Towel will hunt up and lead. In second placing on the outside of the leader now is Benoa. Third behind the leader Australia. Then came on the outside Leonard George, making ground three wide Gypsy Doll as they go along the back the first time. In behind them then came African Art, and after a slow beginning, Divine Glory back to last of all. Sorting themselves out along the back straight on the first occasion, Ollie's Beach Tower, narrow leader. Gypsy Doll strides up and joins it on the outside. Over on the outside, Benoa in the running line. Back along the inside, Australia. Then 5 metres away, Leonard George. A further gap of 6 metres came African Art. And back at the rear, Divine Glory. Into the straight they swing to face the bell this time. Ollie's Beach Tower, the leader. Couple of metres in front of Gypsy Doll up on the outside second. Behind the leader, Australia. One by one, Benoa. Then came in behind them, Leonard George, followed by African Art and Divine Glory back at the rear. They hear the bell with a lap to go in the third here at Fairfield. And the leader is Ollie's Beach Towel, 3 metres in front, Gypsy Doll second, the outside. Australia locked up behind the leader. Benoa in the one by one. Tracking it up in turn is Leonard George. Back along the inside, African Art. And last of all is Divine Glory. Into the back on the last occasion, Ollie's Beach Towel, narrow leader. About to join at the outside, Gypsy Doll. Looking for the way clear, Australia behind the leader. Benoa in the one by one. Leonard George about to come 3 wide. Then African Art and Divine Glory back to last of all. They swing onto that top circle, 400 metres to go. Ollie's Beach Towel a metre or so in front. Behind the leader, Australia gallop back through the field, Australia. And this leaves Ollie's Beach Towel 3 or 4 metres in front. Gypsy Doll is second. Then came over on the outside, Leonard George running on, and African Art at the head of the rest into the straight. Ollie's Beach Towel straightens up well clear. Trying hard, Gypsy Doll, and wider out Leonard George. It's Ollie's Beach Towel though, pulling out plenty near the line. And Ollie's Beach Towel will get home. Best part of 10 metres over Leonard George. Third placing went to Gypsy Doll. Out wide, African Art made some ground. In behind them, Australia, who made a mistake, 400 from home. In behind them then, Divine Glory and Benoa brought up the rear. Panorama Scene in 6. Outside of the front row, the Millionaire. Lone second rower is Unspoiled. $1.40 now and $1 even for Panorama Scene. 1 Gillair Sealster into second pick at 7.40, 280, with 2 Just Con 980 and 350. Approaching dispatch point as the mobile about to come into the home straight, down to the judge and 2 laps of the track. Just about ready now. All pacing cleanly. They're set to go. The green light comes up, they're off and racing this time. Nitro Khan going roughly at the start, winning the start, Just Con over on the inside. Grey-red driven for speed out wider, and wider still Panorama Scene. Into the first turn they go. And taking over in front as they head to the back was Grey Red. Up within 2 metres the outside Panorama Scene. Third behind the leader Just Con. Next pair back Prince of the Club, the outside of Gillair Sealstar. Then came over on the outside Nitro Khan back into a pace. In behind them Unspoiled. And last of all the Millionaire. Down the back straight they go. And taking over in front now the favourite Panorama Scene. Strides about 5 metres clear on in second place in Grey Red. Next pair back Just Con. The first one cutting the breeze is Prince of the Club. Being tracked up in turn by Nitro Khan. Gillair Sealstar back along the pegs. Unspoiled coming around them 3 wide, and back at the rear is the Millionaire. They swing into the straight to face the bell this time. Leading them up for home, Panorama Scene, 5 metres clear. Prince of the Club getting a little closer on the outside. 3 wide coming into an Unspoiled. Grey Red behind the leader, one off the fence. Then came Nitro Khan. Just Con back along the inside, followed by Gillair Sealstar in second last placing. And last of all, the Millionaire. Out of the straight, short of a lap to go now. The favourite, the one to run down, Panorama Scene, still by 5 metres in front. Working to the death now, Unspoiled the outside of Grey Red the inner. Then came over on the outside Prince of the Club. Further back, Just Con looking for the way clear. In behind them then came Gillair Sealstar the inside of Nitro Khan. And last of all, the Millionaire. Long the back straight they go, 400 out. Panorama Scene a metre in front. Unspoiled on the outside, about to join it. Then came Grey Red. Further back, Just Con, they've sprinted clear on the rest. Gillair Sealstar, they're followed by over on the outside came Prince of the Club and Nitro Khan, and last of all the Millionaire. They round the home turn. Panorama Scene straightens up 10 metres in front, trying hard Unspoiled. Then came further back Just Con the inside, and further back was Grey Red. It's in front, Panorama Scene having another go the outside, Unspoiled. Panorama Scene though pulling up plenty near the line, does enough. Panorama Scene a metre on the line, second placing Unspoiled. Just Con got third up along the inside. In behind them, Grey Red, Nitro Khan, Gillair Sealstar, Prince of the Club and the Millionaire. Admiral Phillip, second row. Nixa Beach, Pav's Pastime and Louis Made It. Pacing up behind the machine, approaching dispatch point in the home straight, down to the judge and 2 laps of the track here at the Trot Dome. All set to go. Galloper on the second line for a few strides, Pav's Pastime. Green light up there, off and racing. Pav's Pastime still galloping, leading them out from the centre. Ship Cruiser will lead on, settling down wider out on the track. Barra Karen in the early stages, driving through Sir Lucky behind the leader, and Jets Along got away okay. As they swing into the back on the first occasion, and taking over in front, Ship Cruiser leads 5 metres. Second placing Sir Lucky behind the leader. Off the fence is Barra Karen cutting the breeze. Next pair back are Nixa Beach over on the inside there of Jets Along. Then came getting up along the inside Pav's Pastime, working around them 3 wide, Louis Made It. Lots of tricks back to second last, and last of all is Admiral Phillip. On the back straight they go, and the leader is Ship Cruiser by 5 metres in front. Sir Lucky is second, continuing to make ground 3 wide, now moving up into the one out line is Louis Made It. Then came the next pair back, Nixa Beach over on the inside of Barra Karen, now 1 by 1. Jets Along the next one over on the outside of Pav's Pastime from Lots of Tricks, and back at the rear is Admiral Phillip. They hear the bell down the straight with 900 metres to go. Ship Cruiser a metre in front. Over on the outside, Louis Made It is second. Behind the leader, Sir Lucky. One's gone for a gallop back in the field. Jets Along out of its gear. And as they work into the back straight, back to the leaders. Ship Cruiser the leader out of the straight. Sir Lucky second. Over on the outside, Louis Made It cutting the breeze third. Then came back on the inside, Nixa Beach being covered up by in the centre, Barra Karen. Lots of Tricks improving 3 wide. In behind them then came Pav's Pastime. And last of all of the main bunch, Admiral Phillip, and tailed off last of all Jets Along. Along the back straight they head with 500 metres to go. Ship Cruiser a narrow leader, being pressed in the centre now by Louis Made It, and out 3 wide, Lots of Tricks coming into it. Sir Lucky looking for the way clear. Barra Karen one off the fence, and wider out still was Pav's Pastime. The head of the rest then Nixa Beach, and last of all of the main division was Admiral Phillip. Into the straight they swing. Out in the centre, Louis Made It has gone to the lead. Sir Lucky getting up along the inside now. Then came wider out, Lots of Tricks, Sir Lucky and Louis Made It. They're followed by further back in the field, getting right up along the inside. Nixa Beach is the one. Nixa Beach races through on the pegs and got home. Nixa Beach. Second, Louis Made It. Third, third, Sir Lucky back nearer the inside. Then came further back Bara Karen. Lots of tricks out wider, Pav's Pastime. In behind them, Ship Cruiser. And last of all was Admiral Phillip, with the exception of Jets Along, which galloped in 2 laps of the track. Driller 2 now back into favourite at $3.20 and $1.60. 3 Myella Kiev, $3.70, 2 even. And number 9 Tonos, $5, $2. Moving up, outside of the front row, Rock on Lord, next to it Skimming Stone. Driller 2, Hugh Bronny, Myella Kiev, Gypsy Pronto, Mega Cam. Second row, Satara, Tonos and Evil Rama. Approaching dispatch point. Gate swings to the back, race 6 here at Fairfield. Set to go. Ready, green light comes up. They're off and racing this time. Gypsy Protto showing some pace towards the inside. Driller 2 driven out as well. Wider out Skimming Stone, and the widest runner is Rock on Lord. They settle down into stride, and Driller 2 works around to the lead. In second placing behind the leader there came Myella Kiev. Then came one off the fence, Skimming Stone. Rock on Lord continues to make ground 3 wide. In behind them, Hugh Bronny in the running line, followed by Mega Cam back along the inside. Then the next one is over on the outside there, Gypsy Protto, followed by back in the field then came along the inside Satara, back second last Tonos, and last of all Evil Rama. Past the judge, 2 to go. Driller 2 a metre in front. Rock on Lord is second. Over on the inside came Myella Kiev. Then came one taking off 3 wide around them, Tonos in the early stages. So as they head to the back, Driller 2 the leader by a couple of metres in front. Working around now, Tonos into second placing. Third behind the leader there came Myella Kiev. 1 by 1 now is Rock on Lord. They're followed by the next pair back, a Skimming Stone, the outside of Mega Cam, the pegs. Then came Hugh Bronny from Satara. Second to last, Gypsy Pronto, and Evil Rama brings up the rear. Off the back they swing. They'll come into the straight to face the bell this time, and Driller 2 the leader at around the 1,000 metre mark. In second placing over on the outside came Tonos. Then came enjoying the run of the race 1 by 1 Rock on Lord. Behind the leader came Myella Kiev. Then came back along the inside was Mega Cam. One off the pegs, then came Skimming Stone. In behind them Satara. Satellite from the rear, Gypsy Pronto. In behind them Hugh Bronny, Evil Rama. They face the bell now as they go past the judge with short of a lap to go, swinging out of the straight, and Driller 2 the leader. Tonos in the centre. Then came out wider Gypsy Pronto, a line of 3 as they head to the back. In behind them Myella Kiev. Between runners Rock on Lord. Then came out 3 wide, tracking them home was Hugh Bronny. In behind them then came locked away on the inside Mega Cam. Back between runners Skimming Stone, Evil Rama, and Satara back to last of all. A well bunched field, Driller 2 being pressed in the centre now by Tonos, who has gone to a narrow lead. Gypsy Pronto out after it on the outside. Then Hugh Bronny, Rock on Lord, further back Myella Kiev. At the head of the rest was Evil Rama running on with Satara. They're about to swing the home turn, and Tonos has gone to a clear lead, 3 metres in front. Now racing around the outside, Hugh Bronny about to go up and join it. Gypsy Pronto under the whip third, and then came Evil Rama and Satara in the straight. And over on the outside going to the lead is Hugh Bronny, hunting back Tonos though. Tonos and Hugh Bronny are driving, go to the line. Tonos the inside, Hugh Bronny the outside, goes home the better. Hugh Bronny just gets home from Tonos. Third placing, give it to Gypsy Pronto, Evil Rama next, then came Satara, Mega Cam. In behind them then came Skimming Stone, Rock on Lord. Further back then in the field came wider out was Mega Cam. In behind them then to pull up was Driller 2 back amongst. Moving up now, race number 7. Milwaukee Striker, the inside runner. Hope for Henry next to it with Machete. Sant Marie, Know Your Role. Punchy Bromac, little bit tricky. Second line, Bell Bet, along with Carl and Amorts, the favourite. Currently at $1.60 Amorts. Heading to the back straight, dispatch point coming up. Ready for dispatch. Set, green light comes up, they're off and racing. Hope for Henry, keen for the early lead, will lead, but whipping around them, Punchy Bromac might cut it off into that first bend. And as they settle down, it's Punchy Bromac going to the lead, Hope for Henry second. Then came back along the outside there as they work off the back was Machete in the early stages. In behind them then along the inside, Milwaukee Striker, Carl between runners, trapped out a little wide in the early stages there, would have been Sant Marie. So settling down past us the first time with with 2 laps to go, and Punchy Bromac the leader. In second placing, Hope for Henry behind the leader. Making ground 3 wide up into the death seat now is Sainte Marie. 1 by 1 sit now to Machete. In behind them then Carl the outside of Milwaukee Striker. Belbet next. Then came back along the inside was Know Your Role. Second last Morts, and last of all is Little Bit Tricky. Into the back straight they head. Lap and 3/4 out. Punchy Bromac the leader by 5 metres. Moving up on the outside, Sainte Marie to second. Third behind the leader came Hope for Henry. Next pair back, in fact, as we see Belbet whipping around them 3 wide. Back in the centre was Machete. Back along the inside, Milwaukee Striker. Then came Carl over on the outside of Know Your Role. Second to last, Morts, and last of all, Little Bit Tricky. As they come off the back once again, around a lap and 1/4 to go, and Punchy Bromac the leader. Moving up a little closer now on the outside, Belbet to second. Hope for Henry behind the leader. 1 by 1 Sainte Marie. Milwaukee Striker the inside of Carl. Next pair back then as they work down the straight were Machete. They're followed by back along the inside, Know Your Role. Back second last to Morts, and last of all, Little Bit Tricky. They go past the judge with a lap to go. Punchy Bromac, a narrow leader from Belbet the outside second. 1 by 1 Sainte Marie. Back in behind the leader came Hope for Henry as they work to the back. Milwaukee Striker back along the inside of Machete. Then came 4 back along the inside, Know Your Role. Carlitz outside. Second last, Little Bit Tricky. And last of all, the favourite of Morts. Along the back straight they go the last time. Punchy Bromac, a narrow leader. Belbet second. In behind them, Hope for Henry looking for the way clear. Sainte Marie in the 1 by 1. Then came Milwaukee Striker the inside of on the outside Machete. Going 3 wide now came Carl. In behind them, Know Your Role. Little Bit Tricky, and still a Morts back at the rear. They swing off the back straight, and Punchy Bromac about to be grabbed by Belbet the centre. The run coming for Hope for Henry in the centre. Then came wider out was Sainte Marie in the straight, and going to the lead out wide is Sainte Marie. Racing away from Belbet, getting through Hope for Henry nearer the inside, but in the run home it's Sainte Marie. Sainte Marie scores by 3 metres. Second placing Hope for Henry. Belbet got third. Know Your Role up along the inside, followed by a Morts who came home when it was all over. Milwaukee Striker next. In behind them came Carl. Then back behind them too was Machete, and last in Punchy Bromac. Stand by for the placings on the 7th. Numbers about to... Now they're moving up. The Red Earth, the inside runner. Next to it, Admiral's Fella, Kublai Khan. Out wider, 15 plus with LJ's Buccaneer. Westburn Warrior, Promise You. Second line, Timon and Pumbar, and Rambunctious Boy. Approaching dispatch point in the back straight. Round to the judge in 2 laps. They're set to go. Ready and racing this time. Coming out smartly was Admiral's Fella, might lead on, settling down, taking it on though 15 plus in the early battle for the early lead, and taking over 15 plus will lead on, settling down. Racing up in second placing behind the leader there came Admiral's Fella. They're followed by further back in the field in the early stages. Over on the outside there was Rambunctious Boy. Then came the Red Earth back along the inside. In the running line, Kublai Khan. Back further in the field as they settle down into stride was Westburn Warrior. Back second last, Timon and Pumbar. And last of all came... Last of all there in the field was Promise You as they work past the judge with 2 laps to go, and 15 plus the leader. Back on the inside, Admiral's Fella is second. Racing up on the outside came LJ's Buccaneer to cut the breeze. Then came back along the inside the Red Earth, taking off around them 3 wide, Rambunctious Boy in the early stages. Then came Kublai Khan. Back Westburn Warriors third last. Second last Timon and Pumbar. And last of all is Promise You. Along the back straight they go, midway between far turns at the lap and a half mark. And the leader is 15 plus, has been there from the outset. Rambunctious Boy second on the outside. Then came Admiral's Fella back along the inside. In the 1 by 1 sit then came Rambunctious Boy. In behind them then, as they work off the back this time, was the Red Earth. There followed by one off the fence was Kublai Khan. In behind them then came Westburn Warrior. Back second last Timon and Pumbar, and Promise You back at the rear. They swing into the straight this time. They'll face the bell. 15 plus the leader. Up on the outside in second placing came Rambunctious Boy. LJ's Buccaneer then. There followed by making ground around them 3 wide was Kublai Khan. Back long locked away along the inside came Admiral's Fella. The Red Earth tracks it up. They're followed by Timon and Pumbaa. And back to last of all there was Promise You as they swing out of the straight and head towards the back on the final occasion here at Fairfield in the last, and 15 plus a metre in front. Over on the outside, Rambunctious Boy second. Locked away with nowhere to go is Admiral's Fella. Then came further back in the field as they worked their way along the back was LJ's Buccaneer. Further out on the track making some ground now was Kublai Khan as the field starts to bunch. Timon and Pumbaa, the Red Earth, back towards the rear Westburn Warrior, and about to go forward 3 wide was Promise You. Out of the back straight they swing. Westburn Warrior gallop there as they swing the home turn. 15 plus a narrow leader. Rambunctious Boy, then came LJ's Buccaneer. At the head of the rest, Admiral's Fella back along the inside. In the straight now, 15 plus a metre in front. Rambunctious Boy trying hard down the outside with LJ's Buccaneer. Great go in the last. In the centre, Rambunctious Boy goes to the lead. Rambunctious Boy scores a metre. Second placing, maybe LJ's Buccaneer out wide. Admiral's Fella back nearer the inside. Between runners then came 15 plus. In behind them then to pull up wider out on the track, the Red Earth. Then further back in the field to pull up was Promise You. In behind them then Kublai Khan. And back at the rear after galloping in the final lap was Westburn Warrior.